I think it's called the
Lay it
jiggle.
on.
The jiggle factor.
Jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby. It's the jiggling, baby. Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead, baby. Oh, I forgot about that song. It's a great one.
This year's 11th of 12 Beers of Christmas is a crispy American lager called Side of Ranch, brewed by BlackStack Brewing in collaboration with Bricksworth Pizza and Beer. I'm back on that Zoom with Murph and Mat to talk about the excitement of working excellent Pilsners into their hop-heavy, sour-savvy portfolio. I get schooled on some future lager projects at BlackStack that include mixed fermentation and foeder conditioning, and Matt learns a few things about Murphy's family that he didn't know. The 12 Beers of Christmas is brought to you with ongoing support from BSG Handcraft, Imperial Yeast, and the Patreon supporters of Chop and Brew. Join them at patreon.com/chopandbrew.
So I was going to say light beer of choice. Mine is Banquet or Hams is what I will stock.
Oh, dude. Hams is probably, man, I could never choose between Hams and High Life, but
dude, look at that
Banquet's the close third for me.
That's like,
see, dude, I stay stacking, baby.
A fast slow pour.
Got them slow pours.
It's the 11th beer at Christmas, y'all.
La la la.
11th beer at Christmas, and I'm here with two crispy boys, Matt and Murph. Y'all remember them?
Quite literally wearing my crispy boy bracelet.
Are you kidding me? What the hell is this? Oh my god!
No,
dude.
Murph, I didn't realize you had that.
Yeah, it's.
Tell me where you got that, Murph.
This year. It's permanent hangover was just selling friendship bracelets, and before the festival even started, I was super chapped, so I bought a bunch of shit and then just left my bag on their table, and bless their hearts, they chased me down and gave it back to me.
All right, so these boys and this beer are from BlackStack Brewing. This is in Midway, St. Paul, in the neighborhood in which Chip Walton resides, and this is our middle beer, right? We started with a super baby, over-fruited sour, and now we're going to clear our palate with an American lager, and we're going to go up. But it's been
arguably one of the most beers we were excited for.
Yeah, we're fucking stoked about this.
Side of Ranch, and this is its name, y'all.
Yeah, Side of Ranch, baby. Midwest classics.
So there's been some technical difficulties. Matt might be in another square. We've definitely talked more. This is our second one of these. Murph has since poured another of BlackStack's Pilsner. So let's just real quick talk about.
I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
So this brewery came out of the gate known for big hazy bombs, juicy bombs. But then the Pilsner's game in the last year and a half has just epically stepped in. Tell me about what BlackStack thinks about a Pilsner, what you want to put out there when you're conceptualizing one.
We have a ton of fun with them. Putting other shit into lagers doesn't really excite me, or I don't know. I feel like we fuck around in every other aspect of beer, but that just, I don't know, doesn't appeal to me at all. So most of what we're loving, most of the time we use Augustiner yeast, German Pils yeast. And we're playing around with hop profiles. Malt biels are obviously super clean. It's largely Pils and maybe teeny bits of carapils or carafoam. I mean, but by and large, we just love the expression, delicate expression of hops on really, really clean, crispy, squeaky, as highly carbonated as we can get it into the package lager.
We like lagers we can shotgun. Yeah.
Yes. We're very fond of shotgunning around these parts.
This one is pretty unique within itself. It's called a Side of Ranch. It's a great pizza reference. I love it. Tell me about the backstory of the two components of this collaboration, BlackStack and Bricksworth.
Yeah, absolutely. So my younger brother Cooper just opened up Bricksworth down in Burnsville. They're separate entities legally and financially, and but there's a lot of cross pollination in terms of creativity and where recipes are going, what what's happening with the food, and we love being able to dive in on those things. And
I have a question.
Matthew?
Did you say Coop is your younger brother?
Yeah.
What? I've been with this for how long, and Coop is your younger brother?
I think this speaks to the level of responsibility that each of us emanate.
I have an older brother
that
I have an older brother that everybody would swear is the younger of the two of us based on character, responsibility load, attitude towards
credit
the world.
score. Yeah.
My God. My world has just been turned, actually.
Yeah.
That's
he's
hilarious.
wise beyond his years, but he's like 2 3/4 years younger than me.
Matt, are you suggesting that he's way
27.
more like put together?
I just turned
that
30,
sounds way better
so.
than what was in my head. Yeah, we'll go with that.
They needed a light drinking beer for pizza heads.
Right. Well, and initially it was just called pizza beer, but my mom,
was it seriously just called
my mom
pizza
was
beer?
like, well, like the descriptor, or it was called Cider Ranch, but it just said like pizza beer instead of 1 pint of beer for pizza.
Oh.
It just said pizza beer. My mom's like, that's confusing. I'm like,
oh,
you're probably right.
Yeah,
she's,
your mom.
She's often right.
It's got tomatoes, spices, and cheese in it.
Well, there is a
literally
somewhere out there with like garlic and oregano and tomato that from like 5 or 10 years ago.
Some of my buddies like hunted it down. One of them was Joe, like Joe Wells, the head brewer at Fair State. It was like the white whale quest to get the like Mama Za's pizza beer. So funny.
Oh God, I wanted.
But apparently,
wanted that beer. I was like, dude,
I want it so badly, dude. I'm telling you, it's going down, dude. 1 barrel.
Oh, you're gonna do the pizza?
You want to see pizza beer? We're doing pizza beer.
There you go.
To the point of like this Cider Ranch, like this is one that we were like, everyone was geeking out about because like we're drinking hams, we're drinking like we love our light beer over there, and so like we got the point like, dude, we're gonna be doing a like an American light lager, and we got the point at the same time we just got a filter at BlackStack for the first time, and like there was literally like 4 or 5 of us, like giddy little kids sitting around the filter watching this light lager go through a filter and coming out just crystal clear, and like pour me a pint, I need to taste this right now. I was just like, here are these boys making like crazy mixed firm beers, like super hoppy bombs that are like above and beyond anything, and what are we losing our shit about? Filtering a light lager. It's like, this is the greatest thing ever. Give me some of this. Like pouring it straight off the tap, like just giddy about how crystal clear it is. It's like, like, and so that's like as cheesy as it sounds, like that's probably like the dopest ass thing we have at BlackStack is like we have like our head brewer Sean, who's just ridiculously technical, and so like putting out like these lagers, putting out these like super technical beers, just bomb out. Where like we have a collab with Almanac where we're doing a super traditional lager fermented beer to guard that we're going to put in foeders to funkify for a little bit. So like taking super funky foeders. We got Murph, who is like, I'm going to argue built the mecca of IPAs and has destroyed me because like I will have like these are supposed to be super great IPAs. I'm like, yeah, but it's like not like what we do. And like, that's super great. Like, I'm going to steal your dad's words, and it's slightly offensive, but like, I completely agree with it. Like Murph is the hop savant and just like knows the hops, knows the oils, knows. And so it's like the IPAs are doing ridiculous. And then we bring in Sean, and it's just like, all right, and we got dope ass pilsners now too, and that are just crushable that we all lose our mind. And so we're I'm biased, but
we're a happy fucking team, dude. Like we have, I'm ridiculously stoked with everybody that we have working for us.
Does having a good Pilsner program in your hop forward tap room, definitely help as far as somebody always being able to find a beer there, no matter who dragged them to this place to drink all these hoppy ass beers.
100%, man. Like, dude, we talk about it all the time, like approachability wise.
What's great about that is like, okay, so you come into the tap room, hopefully in 2021, you know, in this weird realm of the act, or you're going to the liquor store. And it's just like, you know, it's that epitome of we're taking our knowledge of hops, we're taking our knowledge of the malt, and we're basically, okay, this is something that we would drink. This is something we're super proud of, that we're like, we would crush. And like, we get to the point where like, we'll have our salespeople like buy back a case of this because we ran out and we want to drink it. And so these pilsners are something that we're super proud of. Yeah.
This came back from an account today. Like, we've been out of these cans for so long. Literally, I'm just like, yes!
So like, we're legit proud of our beer, and it's to the point, like, I think proof's in the pudding, because we will legit, like, so the first batch of Fugazi, Sean walked out of the brewery with the biggest smile on his face, because he had a whole case of himself, and he was so proud of making that beer. And it's the same thing with Cider Ranch. Like, we're not making a half-ass light lager into this, or American lager into this. It's like, no, we're putting as much effort, as much design, as much, you know, science and ingenuity into this beer as we're doing into the IPAs and into the sours. Like, arguably, they're technically more advanced because there's nothing you can hide around. And so that was something that we were so giggly about, that first filtering of Cider Ranch, because, okay, this worked. 2, this looks great. And 3, we could drink the crap out of this, and we like this. This is going to be sweet. So like, when you're a brewery that's like throwing out bangers of IPAs and sours, and you have killer pilsners that your entire team wants to drink, like that's awesome.
To that end, like, we don't get to, by nature of us constantly putting out new beers, like, we don't get to reapproach these things. Like, the only beer that we were brewing consistently was 755. So that's like, we continuously get those chomps at the apple to tweak and adjust. And like, literally, we're talking like 0.1 Plato is the difference between the last batch and the new batch. And that's like the tweaks that we want to be making. And it's us getting to continually brew these lagers and get them, like, this batch of Fugazi versus the first batch versus, like, it's like seeing that progression and getting it like nailed down where we fucking want it in this like perfect little box of, like, not perfect.
That is okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
And so like, seriously, that like, we are that crazy about these beers. We're like, we will literally discuss like, okay, if we're going to go this realm, we're going to use this malt. We know that kind of go in this realm because we know that this gravity is going to be the mouthfeel, the flavor profile that we're going for. And like, so when we started to do these like pilsners in funky foeders, where it's just like, okay, we're going to take a nice pilsner base, something crushable, put it into funk realm for like 2 to 3 months so that it drinks like a crispy beer, but it's got a little funk on the nose to go. And so like, we will hardcore just like, okay, we know the bacteria and the yeast are going to do a little bit realm. So like, we need to mash this a little bit higher. We need some malt profile with a little higher melanoidin, you know, X, Y, Z, and we will go crazy down to that like single gravity point of like, okay, do we do this as 3 gravity or do we do this at 4? Because it's going to go into the foeder, and we want to bring it down just 1.5 so that it's still crispy without being dry. So it has all that malt character, but enough there for the wild yeast to eat to get it to where we want. Because like, we will back weight some of the stuff, knowing some conditions going to do there, so that the end product is going to be that same mouthfeel. Like, it is that crazy of a level of what we will do. I think that is what's making BlackStack so strong and moving faster, because we have very knowledgeable people in these different corners of the brewery who all respect each other. And so like, okay, if I just came in and was doing stuff traditional for what I was doing in sour, okay, it's just one way. It's like, no, let's take some traditional brewing technique from Sean, what's kind of going on. So like, I will listen to him about like, okay, this is what I'm going for. He's having us ideas, and we're like, okay, but flavor profile, what about XYZ to come together? And it's the same thing with lagers. Like, okay, technically, let's add a little finesse here and here. And so it's like Murph, like, let's use these hops into Fugazis. Let's kind of do it this way. And so it's like, it's literally, it's like, yep, it's the brainchild, but it's so collaborative. It's such a team effort to come up with that best thing. And so it's like, we have the expertise, but we rely on and discuss with others to make the best thing. So it's the same thing, like with like the sours, like, sure, yeah, I know a little bit here and here, but I'm going to be discussing with Sean and Murph all the damn time about like the technicality of it. I was like, okay, bacteria getting a little out of hand. How do you feel about hops this way? Do you want to do it this way? What do you feel about X, Y, Z to make it happen this way? And all right, Murph, no, let's taste this. All right, do you want to kind of go this direction? What if we go higher on this? It's like, oh, this, and this. I'm like, okay, these are these flavor profiles that's dialed in.
From there, the conversation went off the tangential rails a bit, and we never really wrapped up this Side of Ranch video because we tore right into an over-the-top quadruple IPA called Merchant. And as you could probably guess, that is the 12th beer of Christmas. That well-sauced video drops tomorrow to wrap up this year's awesome 12 beer series. Can't wait. See you then.
Three interviews in one.
And we're back.
All right, sounds good.
Let's just try to make the Pilsner talk quick, because I think a lot of what y'all just said would be the last third. Murphy's bracelet will be the first third. Now we just need to be like, yo, bro, what the fuck, homie? Okay, y'all ready? Now you get to see how my mind works. I'm like, well, I know I've heard this, and we need this, and then, all right, so, now we've switched beers. Okay. Jesus Christ. This is the most discombobulated tasting notes ever. All right.
Oh, sorry.
This is kind of BlackStack, just FYI. Like, all right.
So we've had some technical.
And also, Kathleen's making me a margarita in the background because I'm not drinking enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna.
Matt's a notorious lightweight, so I'm very surprised that you say
horrible. Yeah, it's bad.
Only the good stuff, San Marzanos.
So y'all build this as
that's like your dad after he had too many cigarettes.
Y'all build this as an American lager. I don't even know why I tried that. Yeah. I knew this interview would go this way. I was like, there's like back when I used to do Brewing TV, there were a couple of interviews where Jake and Mike were like, don't try to do the thing that you do to this interview. It works 90% of the time. Like,
we will derail you.
I mean,
we're if nothing else, me and Matt are easily driven to distraction, you could say.
That might be the most accurate thing ever.
I got so sidetracked here. Part of what that was supposed to be talking about was like, we know that these 4-packs are extremely expensive. We want these beers to be a lot more accessible.
I need to use the restroom, and I need to go get another can of this just for the sake, like, we need to fill in the gap. Like, this is the end of the conversation. We need to be like, but what's this beer? What's it taste like? So
I'm going to piss too, man. I'm fucking
perfect.
Piss break.
I'm overflowing, baby.
I got taco break.
This year's 11th of 12 beers of Christmas is a crispy American lager called Side of Ranch, brewed by BlackStack Brewing in collaboration with Bricksworth. It's a mouthful. Blur. And there's a baby crying.